Hey babes, I am back with one more drugstore tutorial. This is my favorite one. It's a nice, fresh daytime look, just kind of a minimalist look that I hope you'll love. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and of course keep watching to see how I achieved this look. So right now I'm loving the Maybelline FitMe foundations, and they have created two versions, one that's got a dewy finish and one that's got a matte finish, which is the one that I'm going to use. I know most of you would expect me to use the one with the dewy finish since I have pretty dry skin, but this is a nice comfortable matte, so it's not drying at all. Now I want to go pretty light with a concealer, so I'm going to take this palette by NYX and I'm going to mix two of the colors, a light and a medium shade, and just go in under my eyes. Nothing too crazy. This stuff isn't, it's not too opaque and it's not too heavy. It's got a kind of a dewy finish, so I'm just going to apply that with my finger, and then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques sponge and just kind of blend this out. All this is really going to do is just brighten up my under eye area. I'm not looking for a ton of coverage. Again, this is a daytime look, so I want to keep it kind of on the light side. And I do want to do some mild contouring with this look as well. So from that same palette, I'm just going to take the darkest shade and just go in lightly applying to the hollows of my cheeks, just by my ear, a little bit at my forehead, just kind of at the sides, trying to elongate my face a bit, and also the tip of my nose. And then just with the same flat brush that I applied to my foundation with, I'm just going to go through and blend this all out. And then once it's time to blend out my nose, of course I'm just going to do this with my finger. Easiest way to blend. And now to set, I'm going back to that NYX blotting powder, one of my favorites. I'm using the medium shade and just using one of my EcoTools brushes. It's a large fluffy powder brush, and just going through and setting all of this. And right now I am hooked on the Milani Cosmetics Luminoso Baked Blush. It is such a gorgeous color, perfect radiant peach shade. So I'm just going to apply that all over, get that nice healthy color. I'm also going to take my shimmer strips by Physicians Formula and give myself just an all-over glow. This is going to bronze up my face, but it's also going to add a bit of a highlight as well. Since it is a strip formula, it's going to give me a little bit of both. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face with a large angled Kabuki brush. And now moving on to the eyes, I am obsessed with this palette that I found at Ulta. It's by Essence and it's called All About Sunrise. I'm just going to start out by mixing that champagne and peach color with my finger and just applying this right at the center of my lid and then blending out. This is going just on my lid, nowhere else. Next up, I'm taking the darkest shade here and applying this to the outer edge of my crease and into my lid. I don't want this to go into the crease too much because I think shimmery colors on the crease look a bit messy, so I'm just going to focus on the outer edge of my lid and just a little bit into the crease. And of course, once I start blending it, I'm also going to use my finger to blend out as well. And now I'm using this sort of bronzy color just to act as a sort of middle shade to blend the light and dark colors here. It'll just make it look a little bit more seamless. So again, same thing on the other side, focusing on that outer edge of the lid and blending out. And then going back to that bronze shade and just blending those two colors together. This is really it for the eyeshadow look. It's simple, but it really makes a statement. But of course, I do want to add a little bit more highlights. I'm going to take my finger and just dip into that lightest shade and just drop a little bit of this at the very center of my lid just for that extra pop of highlight. And I'm also going to pop that right into the inner corners of my eyes as well. It'll just give my eyes a nice wide awake look. And now for the liner, I'm going to keep it pretty simple, but I'm taking this fat liner by Rimmel, and I'm using this tiny brush by Morphe, and I'm going to dip the brush onto the pencil and apply it that way, just so I get a nice fine line. So I'm really focusing this at the very outer corner and creating a nice little kitten flick at the end. This is just going to make my eyes sort of appear turned upward a little bit. It's not an intensely liner heavy look. It's just nice and simple. And of course I'm going to cover the inner rim of my top lash line as well, just to give it a little more definition. And again, same thing on the other side, just kind of darkening up the outer corner of that lash line, just with a very skinny conservative line and a little bit of a wing. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks. It's just a nice, fresh daytime look. So now I'm going to move on to the mascara, and this is by Rimmel. It's the ScandalEyes Retro Glam mascara, and I'd never tried it before. It's my first time, and I actually really ended up liking it. So I'm just going to hit the top and bottom lashes. And finally for the eyes, I do want to polish up my brows just a little bit. So I'm going to take the NYX brow pencil and just very lightly fill in any spots that look a little bit sparse in my brows, very lightly, not too much, and just kind of brush them through with the spoolie. And finally, I'm just going to apply a really nice sheer nude gloss. This is Madeleine by NYX Cosmetics. And that is it for this easy drugstore daytime look. Again, it's a fresh look that's appropriate for daytime. It's a good everyday look as well. It's just a nice way to highlight your eyes and give yourself a nice wide awake look without looking overdone. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, and I'll see you next time.